flat from the long from this area. We started talking about a 225, but anyway, 227.80-ish. We had a final up leg above 228, reversed us kind of right back down to the breakout area, and that's where we are now. So we have the Fed at 2 o'clock. They're going to raise by quarter point. If they don't raise and just get short everything, they've been telegraphing this raise for about a couple months now, it seems. So they should raise by a quarter of a point. In this situation where it's kind of already, the market knows they're going to do it, sometimes you'll get a couple of head fakes before a bigger move. You could get something like we go down this morning, we take out yesterday's high, then you'd watch, when we take out yesterday's high, you'd watch to see if we came back down, let's say below 228 again. If we did that, that would potentially put in a really nice short-term top. And you get a pullback similar to what we got in IWM the other day. Maybe come all the way back down into here, be a nice trade. Something like that. So it's a nice size move already in the SPYs the last week. From 222. Actually, what was our... the breakout we were playing from a week ago was if we got above 221.80, play that break, and that's $6, which is a lot. So we're due for some sideways action, similar to what we saw with IWM the last few days. So IWM, we broke that 30-minute uptrend on Monday. We tested it, we flushed down below it on the open yesterday, then held it on the retest. So we're right there right now, 136.60. I'm hedged off about 30% of my short put position right now with my IWM long. If we flush down into this 135.70 today, that's where I would hedge off more of it. The puts, most of my puts expire this Friday that I've had up for a while. I do have some for next week as well. Just looking at this over the last few days, now that we've made a series of lower highs, VCEO back above 4. What I'd be looking for is something a little bit different. I think above 137.30-ish. Then we could start to think about a retest of the high. Right now, sellers starting to take a little bit of control, but we are being defended in the mid 136 area. Okay, it's slim pickings today. We have this VCEO. The drug news is really impressive. It's the only other treatment, according to the press release, that can rebuild cartilage, similar to what they use microfracture surgery. For those of you who follow professional sports, you've probably heard of athletes getting microfracture surgery. It's become much more successful over the last 10 years in terms of athletes being able to get back to high levels. But this an alternative treatment could be a big deal. The stock did gap up to 370 back in March and ran up to 6+. So everyone can see that. The float's a little bit higher than some of these other low-price stocks we've seen recently run to the upside. I think it's around 25 million shares. Still low enough that it can make a pretty good run. So right now we're at 4, kind of above and below 4. 350 is a big level. And after that, there's really no, I guess this right here, 470. Let's see. So we did come in and hold this 350 level in the after hours yesterday. This morning we did touch that 470. So people are looking at the same levels that I just identified on the daily. And really the question is, you can see it just pop while I was talking to you about 4. But these sellers hold control here and get it to retest this 350 again. I'd say it gets back above 415. Buyers in control. You're going to get the retest of this area up here. And always in the back of your mind is, can they push it back up to levels where it got to previously on the daily? CPE. What's the news here? Oh yeah, they did a large secondary to fund an acquisition. Here's the daily. The articles I pulled up didn't actually say the price, but with the proceeds they raised, it looked like it was on 16.35 a share. You can see going back the last week or so, it was down here at 1640, 16, even 1635. Maybe right on the open, you get a flush into this area here, and then back up. We'll see what happens at 17. Some of this case where they do those secondaries, and it's coming off, but it's to fund something a positive, and assuming people like the acquisition, it could actually lead to an upside break later in the day. So 1740. And in trouble with the Chinese government for price fixing. It was already below 36. My charts froze. Okay, there. Connection problem. That's not good. Some issues lately with this clickbaiting. Let's see if we can share this again. All right. Was about below 36 a little bit earlier. It has had a really nice run up with the market. It's up here. So I would think some people might get nervous if it actually, after the open, was below 36. Every once in a while when I trade GM, it has some really nasty moves. You would think it doesn't move much, but it'll have like some big flushes and then kind of pop back up. So a lot of people long above 36 the last couple of weeks. You can see in the pre-market was below. If people decide that this is a big news out of China, they start to sell it, and it gets below 36, you might get a pretty quick flush. At least to here. In the meantime, I use 36 as an inflection right on the open. Hard to say if it's that big of a deal, really, but it was enough to get it to gap down in the pre-market. AKO, they priced their secondary at 13.50. It's pretty impressive considering the stock opened at $8 a couple of days ago on the news, on the good news. So the fact that they're able to price it above the high from the day one is actually really impressive. But it's a lot of shares. People want to take those profits. Let's say 10% above 13.50. That gets us to 14.85. So that spikes up right on the open. It wouldn't surprise me. A lot of those people bought in on the secondary by selling shares in this area right here, where it couldn't break below yesterday afternoon. If they sell here and then the stock actually gets below $14, you might get some more people who are in on the secondary nervous and push it all the way back down, 13. So that's the thought there. If it actually is above 15 and holding above 15, then you got to be either focused long or a little bit more careful in shorting it. Somebody's asking about NDSI. Which normally trades 240,000 shares a day. And has just run up from 100 to 110. You know, when I see something like this initially, I figure most people who would trade this probably lose money because it will be too thin. They beat and raise, so that's, you know, a telltale sign of generally a stock that gets bought from. I mean, they beat revenues by around, looks like 6-7%. They crushed the EPS by over 10%. The range for next quarter isn't that impressive. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. The easiest thing from a technical standpoint to look at is what would happen here at the 110 area where it failed recently. If people were actually willing to buy it here, that's a big deal. If they're not willing to buy it here, it could just go right back down. On the conference call right now. So we talked about a KO. Apple, I just brought out Apple was yesterday actually touched the highest level it's been since it gapped lower on earnings back in October. Here's the day right here, it gapped down. They bought it that day up to 115.70. And then you can see the following day it actually went a few cents higher. Did touch it yesterday. It's going to be a really tough spot for it to fill that gap. Let's call it 115.50 to 115.80. Potential failure area, maybe a retracement, back down to 112.5, 113, something like that. So that's something to keep an eye on. Excuse me. VCEO looks like it's failed to hold above 4. And IW, I'm still chilling at 60. All right. Just remember, they might push the market up a little bit, down a little bit, but the big move shouldn't really happen until after 2 o'clock. Be patient and good luck.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important? And how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.